Why do they want to get married? Is it just for procreation, to have kids, or for companionship, or for both? So this will help you to, know who you're dealing with and what they want. If you want to have kids, when do you want to have kids? As soon as you get married, or you want to wait for some years before you do that? You need to know, how many kids do you want to have? Hi guys, what's popping? What's popping? Is your favorite online auntie Eyejay? Welcome to my channel, guys. Today I'm here with another video, but we'll be talking about relationships. I know. Before you start saying, "Oh, I'm single and this is not for me, I'm going to skip this," just wait, hold up. As long as you're 18 and above, whether you're dating or you're courting, this video is definitely for you if you have intentions of getting married in the future. So please stick around with me and let's talk about these things. You definitely need this video for whenever you're ready to make that serious decision about who you're going to spend the rest of your lives with. Choosing a partner to spend your life with is a very important decision to make. It can actually make you or mar you. You are your partner, your children, your generation. So in order to do it and get it right, there are certain things that need to be done so that you can actually be happy at the end of the day with your decision. Because sadly, if you look at our society, some marriages are failing and it is sad. And you get to wonder, 1 month after marriage, Otilo, that's the end of the marriage. And like, if little things that you do not expect will actually break people are the things that are breaking them, and you wonder, did you not talk about this? Did you not ask these questions while you were dating, so that it can give you an insight to who you want to spend the rest of your life with? Make good decisions, marriage is still very challenging. How much more so for someone who just enters into marriage because of vibes and feelings? Ah, my sister, you do not want to do that at all, because you'll be setting yourself up for disaster. So I've come up with some questions that I asked my own partner before I got married, things that you should ask or know to before you say that I do to the one. You do not have a pattern going to go. I'm just going to say it and discuss this with you guys at the top of my head. So the first one is, after you got past the pillow talk, how are you? What did you eat today? How was work? How are you feeling? You go back to the real questions you need to ask, even from the beginning. Someone is asking you out, are you single or are you married? Are you in a relationship with somebody, or does someone feel that they're actually in a relationship with you? Do you have any kids? Are you divorced? What led to your divorce? If we get married, will your kids be moving in with us immediately after marriage? Would you like to have kids? How many kids would you like to have? And does the gender matter to you? Do you want girl boy or girls boys, or only girls or only boys? If we have 2 girls, would that be enough for you, or you would do anything to have a boy? Or if you have 2 boys, will that be enough for you, or you do anything to have a girl? You ask them, what's your blood group? What's your genotype? What's your rhesus factor? I said, what is what? Your rhesus factor. This question is very important. I'm not a medical practitioner, but one thing I know about rhesus factor in layman terms is that it's very key. If your partner and yourself are both positive, then you're fine, you're good to go. But if one of you is negative and the other is positive, negative and the husband is positive, there'll be a little challenge, but don't worry, it can be taken care of. The first conception, you have it smooth and fine, but during delivery, there's a point where the blood of the baby and the mother mixes, and then it sends a signal to the body, and then it generates these antibodies. Negative and positive shows that if it's negative, means that you do not have any protein in that blood group. So when it generates these antibodies in subsequent conception, it sees any fetus as the enemy. so it goes off and doesn't allow it to have a space to grow. In other words, there will be miscarriages upon miscarriages, and if you do not have this information, you wouldn't even know why you're having miscarriages, and you suffer a lot of pain and heartbreak and all of that. But in order for you to save yourself from that, subsequently, after the first one, there are drugs, injections, or some shots that are given to such women before they, conceive another baby. That way, it makes everything okay. The antibodies sees this baby as something good and not an enemy to the body, so they don't have to fight it off. That is the only way I can explain to you, but you can make your research on rhesus factor. So knowing it is very good. It's not an illness, and it's not if strong enough for you to say, "Oh, you're not getting married to this person." No, it's just this knowledge gives you the power to know this, and then talk to your doctor and do the right thing, so you do not have any miscarriages or any issues going forward. So it's important for you to know your rhesus factor, not just your blood group or your genotype or your STIs and STDs. HIV and AIDS test, you need to run that. Some people go ahead to check the womb, to make sure that the state of the womb is fine and it is okay. If having kids in the future is very important to you, some men go ahead to check their sperm count. It's not really necessary, but if you want to, that is fine. You need to ask your partner, do you have any allergies? Do you have any underlying sickness? Is there a recurring sickness that comes from your generation? Some people have glaucoma from generation to generation. They always have one person or so who has that in their family. From some family, it might be diabetes. So if you know that you're prone to having that, you can take measures to make sure it doesn't happen in yours. So having that information is key. And you could also ask about the allergies. Some people are allergic to nuts, some people are allergic to seafood, some are allergic to strong smell, some are allergic to sulfur. So, and that can play a role that if you're going to treat malaria, something as basic as malaria, you can take some medications that have sulfur, because if you take those medications, you react a certain way that won't be good for you. So they give you alternative malaria drugs, instead of giving you the ones that contain sulfur. So knowing those things help. And in case of emergency, have proper information to write down in the form. You can ask your partner, are your parents divorced? Did you have any childhood trauma? How did you deal with it? Are you open to therapy? All of these are good questions to actually ask. How do you handle misunderstanding? Do you resort to violence and start punching your partner, whether you're male or female? Are you the type that will scatter the whole house because you're angry? Or do you take a walk out and allow the steam to cool off before you are back to the home? Are you the type that will carry your pillow and run to the living room to sleep or to another room to sleep, avoiding trying to settle your differences, the issue with your partner? So how do you deal with that? Knowing this will also help you to know how to handle matters when they are misunderstanding. Some people would advise that you don't move into a very big house after marriage, that you have maybe 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment, or even if you have a big house, that your bed is not so big, so that no matter how angry each other, when you're sleeping, your bodies will touch, and then before you know it, you do what you have to talk and then resolve the issues that you have. For the woman, you could also ask, have you ever been pregnant before? Have you had an abortion? How many abortions do you have? This is not just for the sake of judging and saying, no, you're not getting married. Because someone who has had abortion doesn't rule out the fact that they can still have children. But this helps you to know their past. Because when you're saying I do, I'm telling you, you're saying I do to the person's past, the person's present, and the person's future. So you want to be in it in every form. You want to know about their past relationships. Some people say, let the things that is past be past. All things are passed away. We are talking about present. It's not like that. Something can spring up tomorrow and then you might be in your feelings and you're angry about it. But if you've talked about it now, you would have gotten all the information you need, and then move past that. And if anything comes up in the future, you'll be better in a good position to handle it. You want to know about their past relationship, who they've dated, how the relationship went. It might not be every nitty gritty of what happened in that relationship that you get to hear, but you get to hear, the basics, like good information that you need to know, so you don't feel cheated or resentful or betrayed in the future if anything happens. Find out, are they from a divided home? Do they have step siblings? Are the parents divorced? Is any of their family member, would they be moving in with you as soon as you get married? How do you feel about relative visiting, not necessarily living with you? You can discuss that. You can discuss the duration of time that you can actually welcome friends or relatives to stay over for a visit in your house, and when a certain period will be a no-no for them to stay past that period. Are you the type that will call a third party into your marriage? Some people, any little thing that happens, they've gone to the third party, tell them about the issues, and they tell you their opinions or even give you advice. So, would you like to have that in your marriage, or do you think both of you should sit down and discuss your problems? If it's something that is really so serious, after all, God is the originator of marriage, Abby. There's nothing that is impossible for him to handle as long as both of you are willing to follow his advice as laid in his word, the Bible. I'm a Christian, so I am for going to God in prayer and putting into practice all that I learned from the Bible. How do you want to raise your kids? What school do you envision that they will go to? How do you discipline them? You have to agree. Are you going to be doing good cop and bad cop? And at the end of the day, you have favorites. Maybe mom is a favorite and dad, I don't like that. Both of you have to be good cop or bad same cop time. So no favoritism. So you decide how you want to discipline your children, how you want to raise them, the values you want to teach. I hope you brought your paper and pen. You're taking notes at this moment. Don't say I did not tell you. Write it down so you remember, or save this video. When it comes to finances, how will you be teaming up to take care of projects? Who handles all the bills in the house? For some people, it's the man that take care of all the bills. It is done like the man take care of the needs and the wife takes care of the wants. For some, it's 50-50. So you discuss and decide what works for both of you. You can ask your partner, woman, would you like to be a housewife? Would you like to be catered to? Would you like to be a career woman? So these are very important things. Don't just assume that they should know a role that you want them to play. Ask and know if it is in line with paying school fees, house rent, vacation. Finances can tear two people apart if not properly talked about and find out if they are big on trust and loyalty. Is it a thing for them? You his or her ATM card with the PIN. You have passwords to the phones, their tablets, emails, or laptop. Are they free to do that? Do they trust you enough to give you the passwords and the PIN? Some people don't do that, while some, it's not a big deal for them. I remember after I got married, I broke my phone, so I had to use my husband's phone temporarily. And even before then, I had access to his phone. I had passwords to his phone, I have passwords to his ATM card. And there was one time I asked for his phone and I was using it. My mom was still alive then, and she was like, "Oh, nice! I have password to his phone. And that's really cool. Oh, as some men will not do that. They'll be hiding their phones. I don't want you to know what is inside. Either they have something to hide or they don't, but they're just not comfortable allowing their own partner to have access to their phone. So you need to ask that question and see what they say about that. And when asking this question, don't just ask and not notice their body language and how they answer. Make sure they're not just telling you things that they feel that you want to hear. Make sure they are being vulnerable and they're being truthful, and yeah, take it up from there. So for me, I would suggest that you do it face to face. You can do it over the phone too, especially if it's a long distance relationship. But if it's going to be over the phone, try and make sure that it's a video call so that you can see them, and then their tone of voice, their body language will say everything. It will determine if what they are saying is matching how they are expressing to find out and know if your money is your money and my money is my money, or your money is our money. How are we sharing it in the marriage? Are you there to be in it forever? Are you there for better, for worse? Are you going to die there, or you're just there for only for good times? If there's any problem, you're out of the marriage. You need to know some that. Men find it difficult to accept help from their partners if maybe or business goes bad, or they lose their job, and the wife is doing something and earning money and doesn't mind supporting. Some men find it difficult to accept that help, while some is okay. They see their wife as their helpmate, even if it's going to be a temporary support. They don't mind taking that help. So you need to ask and find out what they think about you supporting them or helping them when you feel they need. Do you have any addiction? Are you an alcoholic? Do you desire some certain things that are illegal? Ask these questions, they're very important. Are you working hard to stop the addiction, in addition to praying to God for help to stop that addiction? Do you struggle with anything? Are you angry? Do you struggle with pain from a loss? Have you lost someone in debt recently? How are you holding up? How are you handling based on your individual core values? You can ask this question: what is your deal breaker, or what are your deal breakers, if there's any? Is there anything that you will do to your partner and they will never ever find in their heart to forgive you, or there's nothing that you will do that they can't forgive? Find out from them. Very, very. What's your stand on divorce or separation? You feel if there's a little problem, the first thing you want to do is separate or divorce? What do you think about it? What is your relationship with God? Do you talk to God in prayer every day? If you're a Christian, do you read your Bible every day? Do you go to your place of worship every week to worship Him? And if you're a man, do you take it as an important role to be the spiritual head of your family, making sure that your family is spiritually well fed by the time you get married? All of these are things you need to know. Just be rest assured that if a man loves God so much and is willing to obey Him, then you will have less problem, because He will love you and will not deliberately want to do things that will hurt you, always put you into consideration. So I think I'm going to end this video here. Please, if you're single or married and you have questions that you feel are very important that I did not mention here in this video, please share in the comment section so that we can all learn and see areas where we can apply them in our relationship or our relationships to be. I desire to have a beautiful and happy, peaceful marriage, and I wish everyone watching this video who also desires to get married to have a beautiful one where they'll be happy, not a marriage where they'll be sad and all tears. So, and I hope that these questions will help you as you continue in your search or in your courtship. It will really help you to make an informed decision that you can actually live with. If you want me to do a part 2 of this video, please put it down in the comment section and I'll be happy to do that. And like I said, if you have other questions that you feel is important, you can also drop it. We can all read and learn from it. This video has been so much fun and I'm happy to do this. It's something that's been in my mind to share. And okay, one more thing. Are you owing debt? It's very important to know if the person is owing debt, because debt can also, destroy a marriage. Some people don't even owe before they start planning marriage, but the moment they start planning marriage, they go beyond their budget. So before you know it, they have a huge debt on their head. So you want to make sure that during your marriage, you do things and cater for things that you and your partner can actually afford, or monetary gifts that you've been given before the time. Not, doing things, borrowing money to do things to please people, and at the end of the day, you'll be suffering. If you need to do certain things and projects, you can't do them because you need to pay off that debt before you can move on with your life. It's really not fun. So try not to owe any debt. If you're already owing, try to clear it off before you say I do to each other. Thank you very much for staying with me to this point. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.